On another thing about tartan, we welcome Bugsy Sailor, who joins us from Michigan, virtually of course, to tell us his story. Bugsy is the founder of Plaidurday, a worldwide celebration of plaid which is celebrated annually on the first Friday of October. We wear tartan almost every day here at ScotlandShop, but of course any excuse to celebrate tartan, plaid and our Scottish heritage, and we're there. So let's find out more about Plaidurday. Firstly, Bugsy, you must tell us the story that led you to come up with Plaidurday. I hear some workplace envy over your plaid wardrobe had something to do with it.
Yeah, I grew up wearing a lot of plaid. I grew up skateboarding and snowboarding, which, especially in skateboard culture, there's a lot of plaid shirts. And in the Upper Peninsula where I live, my dad always had a lot of buffalo plaid, like in his hunting gear. Traditionally here, it's a lot of big red and black block plaid. But I grew up wearing lots of plaid, and when I was living in Lansing, Michigan, one of my coworkers teased me that I wore so much plaid that it was going to take away from my potential in life. So I told him, not only am I going to wear more plaid, I'm going to create a holiday after it.
Very good. And so for anyone confused, I'm just going to mention here that plaid and tartan are essentially, they mean the same thing, but not all plaids are necessarily linked to a Scottish clan, whereas tartans obviously are.
Correct.
So plaid, is that then the more commonly used phrase for you?
Yeah, plaid is certainly more common in the States, and then tartan, is a subset within plaid as we talk about it, with the traditional Scottish tartans. But yeah, plaid is fairly, ubiquitous, in the States, and a big part of the culture, especially in the northern part of the States where I am, and where we have long winters and a lot of snow.
Yeah. And so we love our tartans. So what draws you to it? What do you love so much about it? Why do you wear so much of it?
Well, I think really it does. There's that childhood tie, with my father and seeing his plaid all the time, and the culture of skateboarding. And I've always liked button-up shirts. But I don't like, I like a little zest, I guess. I like the stripes. I like plaids with a lot of color, and I don't like wearing things that are drab, because our weather's drab a lot of the time here, so we need a little color. But I've really embraced it, and I really enjoy it. And this is 10 years of doing Plaidurday, which is hard to believe.
So how do people know about Plaidurday then? Is it a big social media thing, or has it just started with you locally and then spread, or how's?
Yeah, it really started just with my nearby friends and family. It was really small the first couple of years, and I decided, well, let's just keep doing this. And one real big tradition which started was to organize really big group photos to get as many people as possible all wearing plaid together. And that's been an awesome tradition for the last 9 years. And part of that is encourage people to take a selfie, in the social media age, tag it with Plaidurday. But it's on a Friday for a specific reason. And in the States, we have casual Friday, and school is still in session. So it's a good time to dress down a little bit, do something fun in the office or in the school. And let people let loose. So it's really meant to be fun, and it's really a community driver to bring people together.
Yeah, it's a great idea. We will make sure that ScotlandShop celebrate Plaidurday this week. So have you ever worn a kilt then?
I've not worn a kilt.
Oh dear.
I can put this on my list. Coincidentally, I just did a DNA test on one of the DNA tests online, and found out I have more Scottish heritage than I realized. So actually just learning more about that. And I had been to Edinburgh before. So I have a very memorable couple of weeks in Scotland from when I did study abroad in college, and had a fabulous time there.
Wow. And so you say you've just been exploring then your what pushed you then to get your DNA test? Because that's something more and more people are doing and exploring their roots. And
yeah, it was just a gift from a friend of mine, and you know,
that's a great.
yeah, a lot of my history goes back to England and Scotland and early settlers in North America. But I'll have to dig into more of that Scottish heritage, because maybe plaid is in my blood, literally, more than I knew.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because my husband is a McGregor, and well, he's our surname's White, so we're McGregors. But yeah, I definitely have. I've done kind of bits of research, but actually I've not done the whole DNA testing thing. And I feel like I speak to so many people who have done it that I should maybe do it myself, just to find out if there's something there that I don't know about,
Right,
that I've not found out about yet. So I think that's on my list to do this year. So obviously you've got Plaidurday. There is National Tartan Day in April. So do you celebrate that as well, or?
Yeah, I always keep tabs on it. I've gotten much more knowledgeable about plaids and tartans and gingham and all the different types over the years, and it's been a good lesson in textiles, which I don't have a background in. But yeah, I love to see Tartan Day, and it's I think every day should be Plaidurday, quite frankly, or Tartan Day.
Yeah. That sounds a fine idea. And just going back to then the date, why did you say the first Friday of October? Why was that picked? Was that specific?
It was, I mentioned Friday because of school settings and workplace settings to take advantage of it. But then early October in the States, there's no real big competing holidays. And so it's not overlapping with anything, but then it's just starting to get a little colder in the autumn weather. And I think as that temperature drops, people start digging out their flannel shirts a lot more frequently.
Yes. Yeah, well, we produce most of our products in wool. That's what most of the tartans are woven in. So yeah, autumn definitely signals a bit of a resurgence of everyone getting their tartan out. So. And so what about this year? Obviously is a slightly strange year for us all. So has COVID affected your celebration plans this year?
Yeah, it's difficult. I'm a little heartbroken because we can't organize the big group photos that I love so much. Last year in my hometown here, we had 300 people in our photo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was so much fun. But there's still a lot of measures in the States, and it's difficult. But on the plus side of that, while we won't be doing big group gatherings, I think people really need something fun to celebrate.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, take their mind off something, do something light and fun-hearted with family or coworkers, friends. So it'll be a big social media push this year, and that's okay. And we'll do a bigger and better group photo next year.
Yeah, you'll just have to get the 300 and then Photoshop them all together.
Yeah, right.
And so, what's your plans then? So obviously this year's been a bit weird, but have you got plans to kind of push things bigger and better over the next few years, or where do you see Plaidurday going?
Well, honestly, like this conversation is a great example. I would love to make partnerships with different organizations or companies who want to take Plaidurday and make their own celebration of it. So I encourage anybody, they can come up with their own way to celebrate. So there's a lot of opportunity, and there's a lot of companies locally and kind of in the US that have really been supportive over the years. So it's meant to be a holiday, it's meant to be anybody can pick it up and do what they want with it. I certainly have some grand ideas in terms of a world record of plaid, or like doing a plaid parade. Anybody out there, what I really need is, what's difficult is it's hard to be in one place for Plaidurday. I would like to be able to I need a private jet for a day so I can so I can hop around, maybe I need to put it on my list to make it to Scotland for Tartan Day.
Oh, definitely. Well, that's the ironic thing, though, because so in April we were in, not this year, obviously, because it was cancelled, but last year we were in New York for Tartan Day there, and we're
Great.
hoping to return again in 2021. So
Is
yeah, so
that
you'll have
in
to
line
come
with
and
Fashion Week or anything like that?
so that's just part of the whole Tartan Week celebration and the National Tartan Day on the 6th of April.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
Well, if I make
Really,
it to Scotland or New York, that would be fantastic
yeah,
either way.
yeah. You'll be welcome either way. No, well, that's what I'm just thinking. You should be in touch with the president of the New York Tartan Week. I
Sure.
think that would be a good contact. I think he too might like a helicopter as well if you do get one. So you're obviously really passionate as well about promoting Michigan's Upper Peninsula, and what you call yourself, I think, the official, unofficial ambassador of the Upper Peninsula. So what makes that area so special? It's not somewhere I've ever been, so
Yeah, you've done your research. So the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, it's a really rural area, northern part of the United States, surrounded by Great Lakes, on the shore of Lake Superior, the largest lake in the world by area. Yeah. And we're known as Ubers, people who live here and reside here. So the Upper Peninsula is 30% of Michigan's land area, but only 3% of Michigan's population. Okay. So that shows how rural it is. But we have a unique culture, and I think plaid is one tiny little piece of that. And it's definitely a niche population, and I've kind of always embraced it. There's a lot of local pride here for our traditions and our place in the world. And right now, the autumn leaves are changing color, and it's absolutely stunning. But it's a place with an enormous amount of wildlife and natural beauty. Where I can be out of town and in the middle of the woods in 10 minutes. So it's quite wonderful.
Yeah, beautiful. I look forward to visiting you one day then. And is there a strong Scottish community in Michigan then? Is there? Because everywhere we go, we seem to uncover pockets of Scots. So is that the same in Michigan?
Yeah, I don't have a great idea of that. I do know we have a local Highlanders dancing organization. In the Upper Peninsula, we have a lot of Finnish heritage. Native Americans, Finnish. There's a lot of Italians, some French. But those are the main kind of settlers in this area.
And so what brought them to the area then?
Well, the Upper Peninsula is really known for its mining industry.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So there is our equivalent of the gold rush was the copper mining at the turn of the 1900s. So that brought a flood of people here. And mining and timber are both two enormous industries.
Yeah, that's interesting. And so, do you know then? You got favorite Scottish drinks or food? Have you tried haggis?
I have tried haggis. When I was in Edinburgh, and it was okay. To be honest, I'm not sure I was. I would certainly have it again. I'm not sure I was longing for more, but that trip was a long time ago, and it was a great time. We also went to the Isle of Arran.
Oh yes.
And that was a beautiful time. So we got some time in the city, and then some time in rural Scotland. Would love to get back. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
I think it'd be a great idea if maybe I can jump across the ocean for Tartan Day, and you and some folks could come here for Plaidurday. I think would be a fantastic opportunity.
That sounds like a fine idea. Yeah, and then we can see those autumn leaves for ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining me. It's really interesting. A day that I knew nothing about until this weekend. So we discovered you and what you get up to out in Michigan.
Well, I'll be a little vulnerable and say I was nervous to get your message. I mean, plaid and tartan has so much heritage in Scotland. So I want to make sure that I'm representing well, for my endeavors, because it's really interesting anytime I uncover more of the history of tartan.
But we love it. It's just so interesting hearing how different people, why they wear tartan, where it's come from, why they picked it up, and like yourself, it's come from just a love of the color and the fabric, and then you start to explore. Have you got Scottish heritage? And you discover you
Right.
do, and it's interesting where these things begin. So we love a good story here at Scotland Shop.
Well, I will be following along the shop and keeping tabs, and I was already browsing all the different patterns and plaids. I was like, okay, I might have to look into a suit of this tartan.
Oh, well, I think we're going to have to get you into a kilt, definitely.
I can make that happen.
Yeah, I think we should make that happen. Okay. Yeah, well, so we will be following the celebrations this week. We'll make sure we send you our photo to add to your collection.
That sounds great. I appreciate it.
No, well, thank you for joining us. And we'll make sure anyone who is listening who wants to join in the hashtags Plaidurday. My pronunciation, I feel, has improved as I've gone through this. So yeah, everyone will have to dig out their tartan. And this is your 10th anniversary, is that right?
Yeah, 10th year.
Well, good. Well, I look forward to watching it grow, and we'll see you in a kilt next year. We'll get that organized.
That sounds good. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for joining us.